Alright, so we're going to let you start off, JW. This is the deck profile that won the locals tournaments 2 weeks ago. What was the date, do you remember? 2 Fridays ago?
Alright, see you guys.
See you, man.
Yeah. So this is the deck profile that won the our local tournament on the March 19th of 2021, and it was JW who won first place. He went, what was it, like 4-1, something like that?
I think it was 3-1.
3-1, and this is his deck profile, and we'll let him take the reins.
All right. So we're gonna start off with the three ofs, the monsters. This is Kari Lords, is what we call it. So we'll start off with the Karis. You've got 3 Perform Pal Kari Bobble. What this does is if your opponent declares a direct attack, you can special summon this guy from your hand. Your opponent is forced to attack Kari Bobble because game state changes, and all of the damage you would have taken, you gain as life points instead. This is a really fun card. It's really fun to make people mad with it, and one of the best plays I remember doing with this is I summoned it in defense against a Chaos Max, so I gained 7,600 life. It's a lot of fun, cheeky little card. This entire deck is like that, basically. So next, we've got 3 Kari Born. Now this card, you won't really use its first effect too much. Its first effect is at the end of the battle phase, if a monster you control was destroyed by battle, you can discard this card, bring back that monster. The effect that you want to use is its second effect, where if your opponent declares an attack, does not have to be direct, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon as many Karibos as possible from your graveyard. So you can go into a lot of fun plays with that. I have quite a few examples in the extra deck, which we will get to in a little bit. Next, we're going to go into the 3 of Time Lords. You've got 3 Raphions. All the Time Lords cannot be special summoned from the main deck. If you control no monsters, you can normal summon them. They all cannot be destroyed by battle. They cannot be destroyed by card effect. Neither player takes battle damage. Well, you don't take battle damage with the one that has 4,000 attack. Neither player takes battle damage, but we'll get to him later. You shuffle them all back into the deck during your next standby phase, and they all have an effect after they battle. Raphion's effect is he will deal damage to your opponent equal to the monster of the highest attack that he battled. The biggest thing about Time Lords that some people didn't notice at first, but now going against this deck everybody's noticed, Time Lords don't have to attack to have their effects activated, they have to battle to have their effects activated. So if your opponent swings into a Time Lord, their effect still activates at the end of the battle phase. Next, we've got 3 Medion the Time Lords. This one has all the Time Lord effects, and this one's after battle, at the end of the battle phase effect, is it bounces every other monster on board, and your opponent takes 300 burn for each. If you can get multiple Time Lords out on board and battle with this, it even bounces your own Time Lord to keep it safe from bouncing back into the deck. Next is Mykion the Time Lord. This is one of the scariest ones to face, especially if your opponent summons this. If they're going second, their first turn, if they summon this, that's scary because this one's after battle phase effect, halves their life. It's just a straight up half your life. If it's in tax, it goes down to 8,000. Regular goes down to 4,000. Me and my buddy actually had some fun with this at one point, and we just stalled out until I got Mykion enough, and I killed him when he was at 1 life. So, yeah, Mykion can be extremely devastating. Next, we're going off to the 2 of Karibos. 2 Winged Karibos, or as I like to call them, Karibo on Red Bull. Because, you know, Red Bull gives you wings. Hashtag not sponsored. You know, old card, fun card. If it is destroyed in any way and sent to the graveyard, for the rest of the turn you don't take battle damage. It's a great, if just set one pass, your opponent makes a big board, Wing Karibo. They get really mad, and it's hilarious. Next, 2 Sphere Karibos. When your opponent declares an attack, you can ditch this from hand and turn the attacking monster into defense mode. That means that monster will not be able to continue its attack. And then it does have a second effect. If you do run it in a ritual deck, you can banish it from your graveyard as one of the ritual materials. So this thing is an econ and a relinquished all in one kinda. But I do not run relinquished. Next, 2 of the OG Fuzzy Balls Kuriboh. It's Kuriboh. During damage calc, you discard it, you take 0 damage from that battle. There's nothing more to say. It's Kuriboh. Next is the 2 of Time Lords. Got 2 Zaphion the Time Lords. This Time Lord's after battle effect is it bounces all of your opponent's spells and traps back into their deck. This one actually has another effect that no other Time Lord has. If it's sent from field to graveyard, you get to draw a card. It's pretty fun for, like, if you get 2 out, going to Gustav Max, that's 4,000 burn and a Pot of Greed at the same time. I mean, obviously not on the same turn, but, you know. Next, 2 Sandion the Time Lords. This one actually has 4,000 attack, but it cannot deal battle damage. It is good for getting rid of monsters if you swing in, like if you swing this into Avermax. This thing's normal summon. What are they gonna do? Its after battle effect is you burn your opponent for 2,000. So it can be pretty devastating. Back when I ran pure Time Lords, I could fairly consistently, maybe like 1 in 3, 1 in 4 games, get 2 Mykions and a Sandion out and OTK with Time Lords. So that was fun. And while technically not a Time Lord, it's also a Time Lord. 2 Time Maidens. This card, if you control no monsters, you can special summon it. It can be counted as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a Time Lord. You can sack her to add a Time Lord with 0 attack from deck to hand. And you can banish her from your graveyard to special summon a Time Lord with 0 attack from your deck, but you cannot special summon for that turn. So it's a Time Lord Searcher. It is a 1-for-1 target. It is really good. That's all it is. It is really good. Now for the one-off monsters. 1 Rainbow Kuriboh. If your opponent's monster declares a direct attack while you have this card in hand, you can equip this card to that monster. That monster cannot declare attacks, and that attack that it is currently in does not go through. Also, as a graveyard effect, if your opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, banish it when it leaves the field. So it protects you for minimum 2 attacks, unless... Yeah, no, they can't even, like, in response MST. And then 1 Clear Kuriboh. Clear Kuriboh, you can discard him and take no effect damage from 1 target for the turn. And then he has a really cool graveyard effect. You can banish him from your graveyard and then draw a card. When your opponent declares an attack, you can banish him from your graveyard and draw a card. Is it direct attack? Maybe? It is direct attack. My bad. So when your opponent monster declares a direct attack, you can banish this card from your graveyard, draw a card. And then if it was a monster, you can special summon that monster. That is a hard once per turn, but it brings a lot of heart of the cards moments into that. The Time Lords say they can't be special summoned from deck, but technically that's special summoning from hand. If you draw a Time Lord off of this effect, it's really fun. Now on to the spells. The only 3 of spell we have in here is 3 Flute of Summoning Kuribohs. Flute of Summoning Kuriboh is a quick play spell that says you take 1 Kuriboh or Winged Kuriboh from your deck, and you either add it to your hand or special summon it. Simple, it's fun, it can disrupt some plays. And if you're playing pure Kuribohs, which I did do at one point, it can make for some really fun Winged Kuriboh level 10 plays, some Kuriboh OTK. Next we have a couple spicy little fun cards that I recently added. 2 Card of Fates. This one says each player chooses 1 card from their deck, and their opponent randomly chooses 4 cards from their deck. You shuffle them up, and then randomly get one of those 5 cards and add it to your hand, and shuffle the other 4 back into the deck. This is a hard once per turn, but it's really fun. It's one of those, you know, bit of gamble cards. you have a 20% chance to get any card from your deck, and your opponent has a 20% chance to get any card from their deck. Plus, either way, you get a card from your deck. It's really fun, not the best, but I like having fun. The other spicy spice I put in this is Draw of Fate. If your life points are lower than your opponent's, and your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack on board, and unless you have Sandy on, that's probably happening in this deck. And if your opponent got something through. You reveal 3 cards with different names from your deck, place them on top of your deck in a random order, and then draw one. And then for the rest of this turn, or for the rest of that turn, you cannot set spells or traps. And you cannot activate, and you can only activate one more card or effect. So it really is a Heart of the Cards, anime pro tag armor moment. But it can be a fun card. It's a guaranteed 1 of 3 cards from your deck if you're losing. And that can really turn the game around at times. Next, 1 for 1. This is a pretty simple card. You discard 1 monster, special summon 1 level 1 monster from your deck. In this deck, that targets any of the Karibos and Time Maiden. So, yeah, it's pretty fun. Plus, you can get some Karibos in the graveyard for Kariborn. 1 Polymerization. You get to fusion summon a monster with this card, believe it or not. I know it's crazy. Not a lot of people know what this card do. It's a baby pot of greed, guys. It's a baby pot of greed. Not a lot of people know what to do. But yeah, you actually get to fusion summon a fusion monster. Like, it's crazy, guys. I only have 1 target for that, but it's pretty fun once I get that target out. 1 Foolish Burial, so you get to send 1 monster from your deck to the graveyard. Usually Kariborn, Clear Karibo, or Time Maiden. But, yeah, simple card. And then Monster Reborn. You get to target a monster in your graveyard or your opponent's graveyard and special summon it. So, yeah, special summon a monster. Next, on to the traps. We have 3 Lost Winds. This allows you to target 1 special summon monster on the field, negate its effects, and permanently have its attack. And then if a monster is special summoned from the extra deck to your opponent's side of the field, while this card is in your graveyard, you can reset it from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. It's a pretty good out to a lot of strong extra deck monsters, because that's where a lot of the special summoning happens. Or if you're playing against dinos, it's an ulti out. And that is just fun to out UTC. Or UCT, whatever the heck it is.
UCT.
Whatever. It's a dino and I don't like it. Simple as that. And then lastly, we have 2 Heavy Storm Dusters. You can target 2 Splatter Traps on the field and pop them, and you cannot conduct your battle phase that turn. It's like Twin Twisters, but without discarding. You do have to wait a turn, but even when MST was around, people still played Dust Tornado at times. So yeah, Heavy Storm Duster. Now on to the extra deck. For fusion monsters, we have the 1 Phantasm Emperor Trilong. I know it has some weird name. I'm used to calling it Trilong from the OCG. It takes 3 level 10 monsters. And then if this card is special summoned, or if your opponent special summons a monster from their graveyard while you control this card, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, burn your opponent for half that monster's attack. And then that is a hard once per turn. But I was playing against some Dark World deck, and this guy really liked recycling that big 2700 dude. I don't know, dumb deck. But it's fair. But I did get this out on him, and this completely screwed him up. Not only could he not get over this, but I also constantly burnt him, killed his 2700, and then he just brought it back next turn, in which I burned him and proceeded to kill it. Guy couldn't take a hint.
He's talking about me.
Yeah. Some dumb guy. Next is the Synchro Monsters. None. Now for the XZs. 2, number 54, Lion Hearts. This guy takes 3 level 1 monsters. He cannot be destroyed while he is in face-up attack position. This card effect's a little weird if people don't actually like look up what it does. It's worded weird, but here's the gist of it. If this card battles an opponent's monster, whether it attacks or is attacked, you inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage you take. Or you can detach material instead, and only your opponent takes the damage from that battle. So it's either you both take whatever their attack is, minus 100 or whatever if you powered up or depowered Lionheart, or it's kind of like Magical Cylinder minus 100. And when I first saw this card, I thought it meant like your opponent takes your half of the damage plus their damage, but no, because that would be kind of really good. And imagine that in Lyrilusk Tri-Brigade. No, both of you stop.
It wasn't me, it was him. It wasn't me this time.
Next, we have 2 Utopia Roots. This card takes 2 level 1 monsters. And then when any player's monster declares an attack, you can detach material, negate the attack. It's just like Utopia. The added bonus onto this card is if you negated an Xyz monster's attack, this monster permanently gains attack equal to that monster's rank times 500. Later, I actually run a rank 12 in this deck. I have gotten the rank 12 and this card out and swung for 65 with Utopia Roots. It's really fun. And it's a great... I actually threw this card in because another one of my buddies used to love playing as Raid Raptors, and this was a good card to out that. Because, you know, this turns Ulti Falcon from swinging 3,000, or what is it, 3,000?
Well, first I'm still affecting my card effects, so you would be able to negate it.
By the way.
What is it?
You know.
It's
what
big.
It would make him bigger.
What's talking about?
3 Sylvan Princess Sprites.
Actually,
This card takes 2 level 1s. You don't have to worry about the first effect. It has to do with plant types. There's not a single plant type in this deck, as you saw. But the other effect, you get to detach material, excavate the top card of your deck. If it is a monster, you can send it to the graveyard. Or it is sent to the graveyard. If it is a spell or trap, you add it to your hand. This can get Kariborn or any of the Karibos that you want in the graveyard. It can send a Time Lord to graveyard every now and then, but that's fine. It can send Time Maiden to graveyard, which can be a good setup for another turn. Or you can add a spell or trap from deck to hand. And who doesn't want a Flute of Summoning Karibo? Next, we have what I would consider to be the boss monster of this deck and of pure Karibos. 3 Lyrilusk Assembled Nightingales. Now, if you don't know what this card does, what it does is it takes 2 or more level 1 monsters. It gains attack equal to the number of materials it has times 200. This card can attack directly. It can attack a number of times equal to the amount of materials it has. And then, once per turn, you can detach 1 material. Lyrilusk monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect that turn, and you take no battle damage. So, a great combo I like doing is let my opponent go ahead and attack, use the resources to get their monsters out. I Karibo the damage away, or I gain life, or whatever. I get a bunch of Karibos in the graveyard. They swing at me, I'm almost dead. They swing with their last monster, banish Kariborn, get 5 Karibos. They kill 1. Next turn, I draw. I might get to normal summon a Karibo. Who knows? Who cares? And then I make either a 4 or 5 mat Lyrilusk. If this card has 5 materials on it, that is 1,000 attack and can attack 5 times directly. That is 5,000 damage. Then it gets to protect itself and give you a Wing Karibo-like effect. And then next turn it'll have 4 materials, which means it'll swing for a 32 in the face, which would be game. So, yeah, Lyrilusk in Karibos is very dangerous. Plus, I'm about to show you another combo I like to do with this card. The last Xyz monster is a Zeus. Now, Zeus, if you don't know what this card does by any chance, you can special summon this card on top of any Xyz monster that battled. You know, maybe one that attacked directly that could have 2 materials on it if you wanted. And then, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials. blow up everything on the field except for Zeus. And then if a monster you control is destroyed by any means, by battle or opponent's card effect, so not like by game mechanics or something, you can attach one card from your hand, deck, or extra deck to this card as material. A lot of people forget about that effect, but it can actually be really good if you actually get to keep Zeus around. So, yeah, you normal summon a Karibo, flute out a Karibo, go into Lyrilusk into Zeus. That's a first turn Zeus if you win second with Karibos. It's fun. Next, Link monsters. 2 Link Karibos. This is a Karibo deck. Why wouldn't I have Link Karibo in here? This takes 1 level 1 monster. When opponent's monster declares an attack, you can tribute this card. Make your opponent's attack 0 until the end of the turn. And then if this card is in your graveyard, spell speed 2, you can tribute it, special summon this card. So if your opponent gives you a level 1 token or something, then you can tribute it, special summon Link Karibo from grave, or link it off for Link Karibo. And then it at least stops 1 attack. So yeah, there's that. And then the final card in the extra deck, 1 Relinquished Anima. Takes 1 level 1 monster, except a token. And then you can target 1 face-up monster this card points to, equip this card to it. You can only use that effect of Relinquished Anima once per turn. And this card gains attack equal to the attack of the monsters equipped to it. So, it's an Omnom, is what I like to call it. It's an Omnom. Omnom fun. But yeah, guys, that is it for my Karibo Time Lords. Tell me what you guys think about it down in the comments. Go ahead and leave a like on this video and check out the rest of the videos on this channel. Thank you. Have a good night.
Alright, so guys, that was JW here. He just gave us his deck build on Karibo Lords. It actually placed top in our past locals. And he actually got first place with it. We believe his record was 3-1, not counting the top 4, which he beat and everything.
This was a few weeks ago. We've been trying to record, but
we were trying to record the video a few weeks ago, but complications with the camera. But anyway, yeah, we're going to post more videos like this along in the future. Hope you guys like them, and just local decks and everything. It's not really meant to be competitive, but they're fun. That's all we care about. Later on, we have a little card shop called Ken's Comic. There's a little card there. If you guys ever want to, talk to anyone or maybe get some cards from Ken, the owner here. If you guys ever want to get some cards there, there's info there. Give him a call. He'll talk to you. He'll tell you what all he's got. There's a little address there and everything for you. If it'll focus in there. There it goes. So, yeah, there's the address there and everything. Just hit up everything. Give us a call, or any message the guys on YouTube channel and everything. Just let us know what decks you like to see. We might try to put them together. Someone might have already built it and everything, because we've even got a guy out here playing. What was the deck that Brandon was playing tonight?
I don't know. I didn't go against him.
Brandon?
Yeah.
Oh, he just mixed a bunch of
We got a
stuff
guy here named Sean, and he really made something called the Pile. So
it's a 60-card chaos deck. And it works, and it doesn't work, and it's hilarious and fun.
Alright, but you never know. Someone might have already put together a deck that you might like, and so just give us a call, let us know, and you're sure to find something you like on the channel. So, hope you guys have a nice night and everything, and we'll see you sometime later. Say bye.
Bye.